Hey, what's up everyone? It's your buddy Matt here. Welcome back to my channel. A couple days ago, I got the call from my snowmobile club that the first run of the season was officially on, but I only have about a week and a half to get a sled ready for that run. My options are currently a little limited, but I got my good old-fashioned Everest 444 liquid 1979 that I'd like to get up and running in order to take out on that ride. The sled hasn't ran for about 2 or 3 years, so I'm gonna have to do a little tune-up on it, but last time I used it, it ran pretty well. So we're going to go over everything we can in order to get it started and get it reliable for that ride. If that sounds good, stick around. Okay, so as I mentioned, 1979 Skidoo Everest 444 liquid cooled. I love the 444s. I don't know why. So quick 30-second history behind this sled. I ended up buying it from a guy in Toronto. This was actually supposed to be a part sled. I was fixing up another 444 at the time. I think it was a 78. And I needed a clutch, I needed a track, I needed a couple extra little parts. And this guy listed it, I think, for 400 bucks. And I was like, all right, great, I'll go pick it up as a part sled. I asked him, can you send me a photo of the clutch? Can you send me a photo of the track? Stuff like that. He obliged. And when I got there and he opened the garage and I see it and he goes, I'm gonna go get the registrations for it. Here's 4 or 5 quarts of oil. Here are the manuals. Here's the original cover. I was like, oh, okay, $400. I end up getting a beautiful survivor sled. Other than a quick tune-up, that's basically been my rider for the last couple years in different runs. So I really hope it's not going to take all that much to get this guy running. What I have as a game plan for today is basically checking what the gas smells like, checking the oil in it, maybe take the spark plugs out, take a look at what they look like, lubricate anything that requires lubrication. I want to jack it up, check the suspension for any wear or damage. I know I ended up buying a seat cover for it actually in 2013. And I can't really find it, but if I do, I might want to cover that seat because this guy's obviously seen better days. We'll go through our emergency toolbox. I'll talk a little about that, and I think we're going to start it up and see if it runs. And if all goes according to plan, this is the guy I'm going to take for the vintage run in a week and a half from now. The gas doesn't smell all that bad. So I had put fresh gas in it last time I used it, and I would say it's probably about here, which is actually good because that means that I can fill up this section with fresh this year's gas. But I'm not too concerned that what's in the tank is going to stay there and we'll end up mixing it and burning it. It smells good enough for that. Check the rotary valve oil, nice and full. This really doesn't go down all that fast. I don't know if that's a good thing, but with the amount of mileage that I put on the sled, I mean, I think I probably only put about 50 miles on this thing since I've had it, and I've had it for about 8 or 9 years now. You guys see this stuff right over here? Bzzz. The electrical system. Now, the story that I'm about to tell you makes me sick to my stomach, even to this day. The year 2018, we were getting ready for our club's Ironman competition, a vintage run like none other, 230 miles in one day. It was guaranteed that not all sleds would make it through. I wanted to take my Everest because I knew it was a good sled, but I wanted to go the extra mile to make sure I wouldn't have any breakdowns. So I ended up ordering a bunch of different parts. A lot of them were Chinese parts, but I figured between a 1979 original Bosch part and a brand new part, I would be better served with the new stuff. Horrible, horrible mistake. This sled had all of its original electrical components and everything worked fine. It even had these metal Bosch plug caps. It had the Bosch coils, it had the condensers, the points, everything. I didn't want to touch the points and the condensers because I know that the Bosch ones are great, but I wanted to change my spark plug wires all the way down to the coils. All the way down and including the coils, I should say. This is exactly what I used. I ended up buying 3. 2 of them were installed. This is one of them. This is a brand new one that's still in the box. Ended up paying like $25 for them. We get there that morning and I go to start my sled and it's running on 1 cylinder. I didn't even make it out of the parking lot. Fiddled around with it, tried to get it to run, didn't work. I ended up doing half the ride shotgun in a pickup truck with the guy that was hauling our gas around. When I finally got it back, I couldn't figure out what the heck was wrong with it. I checked the spark and sure enough, it was only firing on 1 cylinder. So I start going through, never checking the coil because in my mind, it's brand spanking new. And I end up getting to the points and the condensers. Being in a bit of a hurry, I didn't end up taking the stator plate out and I took these nice original Bosch condensers out with a vice grip, destroying them. And I guess I took the points out as well. These are the parts. And I replaced them with some magnificent Chinese stuff that I had in stock. I don't have any Bosch condensers in stock. If you have some, let me know. I'll pay a great price for them. So I go ahead, I install all this stuff, and it still doesn't work. I was devastated. So I go to check the spark plug wire, and as I'm fiddling with it, it comes out of the coil. It actually doesn't come out of the coil. The stud comes out of the coil. Still installed in the wire. The stud basically ran for, I don't know, 5 minutes when I tested the sled out with all of its new parts, and it melted off and came out. This is the other one that was on the sled that technically still works. Needless to say, I reinstalled the original Bosch coils. I kept the brand new spark plug wire and the spark plug caps, but right now it has Chinese components. So hopefully my ding vehicle parts, you don't let us down. I'm serious though, if you have some of these genuine Bosch condensers, hit me up. I'll be willing to pay a hefty sum for these bad boys. Okay, so speaking of sparks, let's go ahead and check spark on both cylinders. All right, my ding, you didn't let us down this time, but I'm still watching you. All right, we're gonna go ahead and just check the coolant. All right, there's some in there, but I might just add a little bit more. Not so sure why there'd be missing any. I don't think there's any leaks, but let's just assume that it evaporated. I love these good old day machines that you could basically add anything you want to them in terms of oil and antifreeze and all that. Nowadays, it's like everything has their own proprietary blend and you're always nervous. It's like, you always got to buy these special products for them or else you're going to blow them up. Yeah, when I was getting ready to go on that 2018 Ironman, I decided I needed to bring some tools and spare parts with me. So I ended up making this wooden rack over here and bolting a toolbox to it. Let's see what we have in here. Spare belt, wonderful. Spare electrical components, uh-oh. Another one of these horrible coils. Unless maybe this is the defective one. Nope, brand spanking new. What else we got in here? Another coil. Is this the defective one? How many friggin' new coils did I buy? Ugh. All right, spark plugs, tons of them. I guess a cap. I think these are for my helmet. A bit of white lithium grease. Oh, nice, foot warmers. Here's some extra pull rope. Another coil, some more spark plugs. Some tape, gas line, primer line, one of these universal screwdrivers, spark plug wrenches. Yeah, anything I need to get me out of trouble. All right, let's jack this guy up and take a look at that track and suspension system. Okay, so took a little look around the suspension and track. Track is in overall good condition. It does have a couple cleats on it here and there. Wouldn't have been my preference, but anyways, they're there. So it's an original Bombardier, obviously original to the machine. There's a little bit of looseness, maybe in the bearings. I didn't take the tension off the track, but you can sort of feel it. middle one as well, and the outer one also. But overall, the tires are in good condition. Even over here, I mean, you know, they're spinning nice and free. They've always been well lubricated. You can see that. That's it. The drive axle is in great shape. I mean, the rubber is still in good condition. You can see the painted surface is still nice and painted. The one with the plating over here still has that nice golden color. The only thing I noticed was that the bolts over here do see a little bit of wear, and that's from a little bit of rubbing on those inserts. So once we get this thing started and moving, we'll just check and see if we have to bend some of these track inserts down a little. The main thing I wanted to check were the bearings. Again, I didn't take the tension off the track. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not, but you can see that the seal is still physically there. Sometimes when these bearings sort of start blowing apart, they'll break the casing and whatnot, but everything looks good on this end. Same thing on the chain case side, so I'm pretty satisfied. Satisfied, but also confident to just give it a quick lubrication and try to get this guy started. Usually when I start an old sled up dry, like in the garage or something, I try to put a little bit of lubricant on the metal parts that'll be sliding. Usually it's the snow that does the lubrication, but my garage doesn't have any snow in it, luckily. Okay, so put about 5 liters of fresh gas in it. Let's check and see if this primer works. Ugh, looks a little stuck, but oh, it's shooting up gas. All right, we're good. Let's see if it starts. All right, pretty satisfied with getting it started. Seems like it's running fine as expected. I guess the only thing left to do now is to take it out for a little rip to make sure that it's ready for that vintage ride. right, so did a little quick jaunt around the field, and looks like it's running great. So I am confident that this guy is going to be top shape for our vintage snowmobile run next weekend. Stay tuned for that one. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Signing out.